that GoPro on
there. Alright.
I'm probably gonna fuck the intro up. Usually.
Always.
It's all good.
Alright, here we go. Here's a random intro sound. Alright, welcome to episode 14 of the Quick Sixer podcast. Hold up, the fucking garage band's all fucking up. Doesn't matter. With us today is special guest Cody Gear.
Let's just start over.
Yeah,
Let's just start over.
Restart. Fuck, dude, what the hell?
It did it. It did it a second ago too.
Did it?
Here, just click on the thing and delete it.
This?
On the no.
Huh?
Do that.
Can't see.
Now you can just. Might just have to do this so it doesn't distract us.
You want to turn it down?
Yeah.
The light?
Because I don't know why it does that.
Did it do it last time?
No.
Sometimes when it peaks, it does that. So I don't know, it's like let you know it's peaking. I don't know if you guys have anything set up like that or not.
Alright. Okay, you can press record whatever.
Lit just a little bit.
And you can just, I guess, it would turn the brightness off when you're so it doesn't distract us. I don't know. If you want to do that.
Alright, redo, I guess. Right? Alright. Alright, welcome to episode 14 of Quick Sixer Podcast. It's your boys, Pat Artis and Drew Pasley. With us today is the homie, Cody Gear. Introduce yourself, Cody. So anyways,
you can introduce me.
Cody's the homie I met on a show that we did recently, and really, had a good time on it, and we connected pretty quick. So I was like, "Yo, you want to come do the podcast one day?" And he was like, "Yeah, my dude." So Cody is a filmmaker, and we're also a Marine and writer.
Does it all.
He does it all, basically.
Does it all.
He's a one-man band, as they call it.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all everything. Jack of everything.
Nah, everything.
Just bow. Anyway, so there's a couple things that we want to bring up today, including the new serial, how you got into filmmaking, inspirations,
Some military
some
stories.
military top secret shit.
Ooh yeah, we're gonna expose some shit.
Exposing you bitches.
Exclusive on this Quick Sixer podcast.
His new feature, Dampire, and some other shit. So let's just go straight into it. Drew, you wanted to bring up something first.
Alright, so, there's this really popular podcast called Serial. I might have brought it up before, but I really fell in love with it the first season because it was fucking crazy. Anyway, they came out with the new season. And the new season is about that dude, Bo Burdock, right? Isn't that his name? And since, it's getting a lot of flack because his story is not really, it's very controversial. Because when he was captured by, who was he captured by?
Taliban.
Taliban. So he was captured by the Taliban and was gone, captured for 5 years, got, saved and all this shit. But apparently, there are some mixed feelings about him, getting saved and all this stuff. It's like he's a traitor and all this stuff. Whatever. Anyway, so since you're from the in the military, I wanted your perspective on his story.
Well, just in general, the background of him, his story, it just, like you said, things don't tie up. Someone doesn't get lost in Afghanistan and just imaginally disappear and or get captured, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, so I understand all the controversy of him being a deserter and what have you, and no offense, but him being in the army as well, so it's a little, not really as trained as well.
Yeah.
So he might have gotten lost, who knows? But it's there's a lot of gray area, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the military operates on a black and white, either yes, no, left or right, so to speak. And the gray area is what gets lost up in the political world, government world, military world. It all ties into one giant mosh pit of bullshit.
Yeah.
So they can tell you what they want to tell you. You can believe what you want to believe. Trading him for 5, huge name targets, terrorists, what have you, for an individual that gets lost is kind of absurd.
Yeah.
It's like something you see in a fucking movie.
And I think that's what he was going for. He wanted to be known. That was his thing. He thought that in the podcast, like, apparently there's these tapes, the audio tapes of him talking to a filmmaker. Have you heard of this?
No.
And then he's like telling the filmmaker all this stuff because they want to make a movie on him or whatever, or thought about it. And he kept saying, he was like, I wanted to create something where they send a distress signal on every part of the army, military, navy, all that stuff, to try to find him.
Yeah.
And so he did that when he left or whatever. But he was saying because the management was bad. That's what he was talking about. And
Management of what?
His platoon, is that what it's called?
Okay, yeah.
And like he said that, all this shit was going awry and bad, and like the living conditions were so bad that he thought that he was going to save him and his platoon from the management of whatever. Sorry, I don't know the correct terms, but anyway, so that was his reason for leaving.
Yeah.
And he realized it was stupid, but I don't know.
So he left. So what you're telling me is that, from what you heard at least,
Yeah.
he went AWOL and hiatus or whatnot to save his troops from being mistreated by his higher command.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It seems like kind of dodgy from the start.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
weird.
Yeah. That's
So you think that nothing like this could probably happen?
Oh, I mean, as
maybe
Justin Bieber said, never say never, so to speak. But it's like the government is U.S. government is kind of fishy. So I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't. I'm not saying it did. I'm just saying there's a lot of gray area.
Yeah.
So and people believe what they see and what they hear.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters, so to speak.
So when you heard that he was rescued, what was your initial reaction?
It's funny. It's just 5 years with these savages being contained, whatever, detained, whatever, on vacation, whatever they're doing. But then you look at other individuals that are abducted by the same people and beheaded the same day.
Yeah.
And they're just civilians, American civilians, but American soldier, so infidel, so to speak, gets kidnapped and he's there for 5 years and nothing happens to him.
Seems like
the
thought is that he might have talked or something, maybe.
I mean, possibly. I don't know what he did, what his job was in the military, what kind of information he would have.
Yeah.
But
Well, in the podcast they kept saying that the Taliban thought that he was a lot higher ranked than he was.
He was a sergeant.
Yeah.
And that's not too high.
Yeah. So. No. So they thought that he was like high, high up in the ranks or whatever, and that's why they were protecting him and all.
And
this
that's
stuff.
what you heard from the podcast, from what our government told you.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yet again, like you said, you believe what you hear. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it just doesn't make sense.
I know it's weird because so there's all the stuff that he says in the podcast from the conversation he had with the filmmaker. So he has that point of view, and then like the crazy thing about Serial is, and I don't even know if this is real or not, but she was like, the first episode, she's like, and that's me calling the Taliban. So like she's like talking to somebody from the Taliban or whatever, the person that captured
I think got fucking hotlines or something like that.
Yeah, I know. It was weird. And it was
might
just
as well
like,
call the White House. Same
that's
difference.
like the El Chapo shit.
Exactly.
Chapo got a hotline to Sean Penn.
Oh yeah.
Hey bro, you want to have an interview?
I don't know. It all seems weird. And I mean, clearly, I feel like they're doing all this stuff for entertainment. It's a podcast,
Yeah. I'm just going to say one thing that something we spoke on a minute ago about how the insurgents that had him under quarantine and whatnot thought he was a high-ranking official in the military. Well, they're not fucking stupid. They are fucking brilliant fucking people. They're smart as shit. They're very ingenuitive. They're very smart, That was sketchy, by the way. I don't know if y'all heard that.
Yeah.
So when our officers in country, they're the higher-ranking officials. When we're in garrison here in the United States, on our uniforms, they wear shiny. So to salute them, they're higher-ranking officials.
Yeah.
Out there, it's the same thing, but all the rank structures are the same, pretty much the same consistent throughout all branches, and they know what the fuck those things are. So there's no way on God's green earth or whatever you believe in out there that these people,
they didn't.
Taliban, thought, no, absolutely fucking not.
They didn't.
These motherfuckers can make an IED out of a fucking soup can and some dental floss. There's no way that they fucking know. Come on, be real.
Yeah.
Shit. We're a little bit deep, so I guess we figure out how our boy feels about that guy. But shit. So you were in the military for how long?
6 years.
6 years, a Marine.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Uh,
Marley?
Yeah, it was pretty
Excruciating.
gnarly. I mean, at some points, yeah.
You do how long did you? You did a couple tours, right?
Yeah, 3. 1 to Iraq and then 2 to Afghanistan. So I mean, yeah, I mean, whatever. Ask me whatever you want to know.
Was the training harder? Was it harder on you in training than it was actually in the field?
The training, like you were saying, like boot camp for the actual.
Sure.
No,
Yeah.
the boot camp is pretty much like a conditioning. Like they break you down
Mm-hmm.
and they rebuild you. Pretty much, it's like a foundation, so you can be built upon.
Yeah.
So you go into boot camp as some cocky, hot-headed. Oh, I'm gonna be a Marine, the baddest motherfucking killing thing on the planet, so to speak.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then they make you feel like a fucking kid,
Yeah.
And literally, our first day there, it was great. You got like 100 dudes in there, from all over the fucking country world, and you're all in this fucking giant, huge square shower room, and everyone's used to privacy as a kid, or a young adult, whatever. They take showers by themselves. They don't shower with 100 other naked dudes in there, let alone 3 other fucking big ass beef castles in there yelling at you how to shower. You know what I mean? And so that you have this thing, right? And everything's so calculated and structured that they give you this rag and they're like, all right, wash your cock and balls. Okay, you do it.
Yeah.
Wash your face.
Wash
Wash your ass. They just fuck you with you and make you belittle you and break you down to your lowest fucking thing, trying to break you down. Because it's more of a mental game than it is any physical.
Yeah.
Physical is not in boot camp. The farthest you run is like 3 miles in boot camp, under time circumstances, obviously. Well, I mean, I don't know how it is now. It's probably it's a lot softer now. Yeah. So it's not as much physical because they don't want to break you in boot camp. They let the schoolhouse and fleet do that to you. So it's not that bad. But so once you get in the fleet, it's a million times worse.
Yeah.
A million, which is great though. It's fun. It's a blast. Well, some things are a blast, but yeah.
Were your tours all in the same place, or did you go?
No, one was in Iraq in Ramadi, and it was like a paid vacation with, well, if you consider being really hot, carrying a lot of gear, with horrible fucking food and hot water vacation, then that's what it was, and minimal pay. We didn't do shit. We just kind of drove around 30 miles an hour for fucking 6-7 months, and then we came back, and then Afghanistan was a whole different whole different story.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was different. My last 2 tours were completely different. Yeah.
So you felt more in danger in Afghanistan.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you actually saw things.
What did you do there?
What was my job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a DM, a designated marksman. I was attached to a unit called the Guardian Angel unit, and what they did is they take a couple of us and they push us on. They attach us to other units, for their platoon sniper unit, and that's what we did. So I did, and the first time Afghanistan was in Marja, and check it out on HBO. It's a documentary called Battle of Marja. Allegedly the most dangerous place on the planet in 2010. It was a Taliban stronghold. They sent the Marines in there to take it and maintain control of it. And the last one was in the mountains of Afghanistan, which was mad dope. So 6-7 dudes up there just chilling. That sounds weird, but I mean, yeah, it was pretty dope. Yeah, it was pretty dope. Yeah,
That's cool.
So yeah.
So let's just put in percentage for people to kind of like have the feeling of it. Like that tour in Afghanistan where you're a marksman doing all this stuff. How fear of death? Were you scared like 100% all the time, 50%, like half the time?
Yeah, what's it like?
It's a funny talk. It's a funny you ask that because a lot of dudes, you talk to a lot of dudes, and they'll come back and they'll talk to you, and they'll try to pull that macho bullshit. Like, I wasn't scared.
Yeah.
Fuck no. I don't give a shit. Once that round snaps past your head, you hear that snap, whistle, or crack, your balloon knot, your asshole puckers up so tight, dude. And you're like, this is it. I'm fucking done. Everything, all your training goes out the window. You're like, where did it come from? What happened? What do I do? But you're not afraid for your life because you're not fighting to save your life. You're fighting for your boy left and your right. Yeah. So you put your rounds down range, or you shoot your weapon to save him. He does the same thing for you. Yeah. So you're not afraid for you, but you're just like, okay, the shit get hit. The shit's gotten real.
Yeah.
For
sure.
It's not like Call of Duty. They fucking lie.
Yeah.
So it no.
You play a lot of Call of Duty.
I used to, man. Back
we'll get to that. But anyway, that's the thing though. It's like you're saying people ask, like, I think that's why Drew just kind of was hesitant on how he asked you that, because
Well, I mean,
it's a weird thing for people that don't know what we can ask people that have been over there, have done that.
I mean, you can ask me anything you want. Doesn't mean you're going to get an answer. You know, there's some things. Some people are really sensitive about some things, but for me, I found it's therapeutic to get it off my chest because you're gonna keep it's inside you all the time.
Sure. Yeah.
So to get it off your chest, and it's like because some people honestly they do want to know. They are interested, and it's to give them a perspective of that. This isn't it. What you go through in your day-to-day life here in fucking Southern California, this isn't the real world shit.
Yeah.
You know, it may be stressful, like you know, oh god, there's traffic today. Oh man, fucking Starbucks is out of my fucking my caramel flavor.
That's what I'm talking about, though. It's like people don't get it, I guess, in that aspect, or like me. I mean, I know I am, but I don't know about you. But it's weird to bring certain things up that you think are taboo, but they might not be. To some people that just want to get it out.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, I met plenty of military people.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone does. But it's like, it's a weird thing. Like, you don't know what to ask, the homies that come back. And you're like, oh, so what can I say to you that's not going to offend you and make you hate me for asking you that question and trying to get that out of you?
Yeah.
But...
Well, I mean, I had one of my boys back home in Florida when I got back. He was like, hey, man, and he was one of my closest friends growing up in Florida.
Yeah.
And, and he came on, he can ask me anything. He can say anything he fucking wants to. Mm-hmm. But, there's tactful ways of saying things, but hey, man, is there anything you don't want to talk about? Because I want to know, I want you to tell me all your stories and everything because I'm interested. Mm-hmm. But is there anything you don't want to talk about? Anything I should not ask you? And that's it, it's like, it's kind of like when you do that, it's kind of giving yourself a red flag, like, oh, I don't want to talk about this certain day, of what happened that day. Then that's in his mind. That's all he wants to know. Then Exactly. But I mean, there's certain ways of doing things, and some dudes are chill about it, about talking about it, and like me, like I tried therapy a lot.
Yeah.
That shit's I can't do that shit. So what I write a lot. I write my stories.
Nice.
And so that's what I do. So I